What's going on, guys? It's me, Dreamliner fan 2016 here, and today we have another model plane review for you guys. Today I'll be reviewing the GeminiJets 1/400 scale United Airlines Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner in the Evo-Blue Livery. I hope you guys are excited for today's video. This model has quite an appearance on most of my airport updates I do, so I decided to give this model a review for you guys. So I'm just super excited to review this model. It's a very old model I have in my collection, and overall, I think this model is somewhat okay for my collection, especially for my United collection, but I didn't got a chance to take a look at the model in full detail. I think I may have done a video on that. Maybe, oh yeah, it's in one of those massive unboxings that I did, but I do want to give this model a full detail review, a full in-depth review of the model, so I'm just super excited to do that as such. So with that being said, we're not going to waste further time, and we're going to get started right away, so we're going to get started with the box. So let's start off with the box review. Alright, and here's the box of the 787-9, looking quite interesting. But yet again, it's pretty much the plain old GeminiJets box design, so nothing really has changed. So you got the GeminiJets logo right there, made for collectors by collectors. You got the CGI image of the plane right there. Boeing 787-9 tiles right there. You got the United Airlines logo. 1/4 scale die-cast small aircraft. Now as I put it into the sides, so here's one side, and here's another side. They're basically pretty much the same. Here's the back side of the model right here. Well, the back side of the box, you got the airplane again taking off. As well as it gets features, you got the bullet points right there. GeminiJets social media pages right there. And then you got the Boeing licensed product, and then you got all the trademarks and the United Airlines trademark product as well. And you got a 2021 GeminiJets copyright label right there. So I think this model was made somewhere around the 2021 time frame. Maybe it might be from the second half of quarter 2 of 2021 or quarter 3 of 2021, but somewhere from what I'm guessing, I think it might be somewhere in the lines between quarter 2 of 2021. So yeah, and the item number of this model is GJUAL 1795. And now if you're curious on where I got this model from, it shows in one of the flaps, well, the sides on where I got this from. So as I pull this out, I got this model from the Museum of Flight for $56.95. That's quite of a hefty price, but either way, at least I have it at least. So yeah, it is what it is. But other than that, it's a very nice box, and yeah, just pretty simple enough. Nothing really too special, but that's it for the box. Now let's move on to the model of the aircraft. Well, the aircraft model itself. So with that being said, let's get into the model. And here's the model itself. Looking very nice. I think GeminiJets did a good job on this model at 1/400 scale. And I'm overall really happy to have her in my collection. So yeah, we're gonna get started with a review. So let's get started with the reviews of the model. So let's get started with the port side. So you got the cockpit windows right there. You got the Star Alliance logo. You got the Connecting People Uniting the World tiles right there as part of their 2019 livery. You got your L1 boarding door, and here's the nose landing gear, and the nose landing gear door containing part of the registration and E-tops, or maybe that's the ship number. And here's the 787 nose shape. It's quite pointy, but I will say that GeminiJets did use their older 787 mold for this one. So it's not really the best representation of a 787's nose, but it does get the job done. I mean, it does look nice, but the downside of that nose, it's just too pointy. It almost looks like a 737 nose, but I'm not going to complain too much right there. Here's the outline of the radome in this case. Moving on to this section, you got some static port details right there. You got the big blue United tiles right there. You got your top antenna right there and your Wi-Fi dome, and then you got your L2 boarding door as well. Moving on to the middle section of the plane, here's your GE's what is it? Oh yeah, GE General Electric GENX engines. Yes, GENX engines right there. One of them, I think this one sits on the ground so low, yet there's not enough ground clearance at all for this engine right there. I think it's sitting very low to the ground, that it just there's not enough ground clearance. But once again, I can't really complain too much right there. But I'll say they did a good job on designing the main landing gear at least. So that's good right there. Moving on to some wing details, as I said, are like this. So here's the wing details on the model. You got your cold sole fuel frost right there. You got your slat details, flap jack fairings, and then of course engine pylons right there, and all the other jazz and stuff. Flight spoilers and ground spoilers. Rake wingtip looks very nice, I will say. As you can see, looking very nice. Moving on to the back area of the plane. And here it is. So here's the back area of the plane. So you got your LCD door. You got more printed windows right there, which I think GeminiJets did a wonderful job on putting the windows on this model right here. You got the Dreamliner tiles right there and the US flag, and then you got the aircraft registration, which is November 24976. You got your L4 door, and I think this could be part of the registration, or maybe that's the aircraft's ship number. So very nice details. I think that could also be a bulk door right there. And then moving on to the empennage area of the aircraft, you got your APU, a very pointy APU for the 787. And then you got your horizontal stabilizers. There's also the CSFF on the horizontal stabilizers right there. And then you got the blue, need to zoom out real quick. And then you got the beautiful Evo-Blue or Blue Evolution tail, looking very nice. I think it may seem a bit dull when I look at it, but I think GeminiJets still did a good job on representing the blue and the colors on this model right here. And then moving on to the front section. So here's the front section. The cockpit windows look very nice. It kind of appears to be slanted just a little bit. And then as you can see with the engines, the starboard engine appears more upright while the port engine appears to be pointing a bit downwards. That's kind of like a mold issue on this model, right here. So yeah, it is what it is. But once again, I can't really complain too much. But as you can look at the other engine, you can see that there's okay ground clearance on this one right here. So yeah, but we're at the starboard section. Of course, you got your R doors right there. You got your forward cargo bin, the big forward cargo bin. And then moving on to the back area, you got your aft cargo bin right there. Moving on to a top view of this aircraft, so let me just position her like this. So here's the top view of the aircraft, of course with some very nice details and everything and all that jazz. Moving on to the bottom section of the aircraft right there. I think the navy gray, I think it appears a bit like tannish. I think it should have been like a much more like grayer style, so yeah, I think that's how that works right there, but I can't complain. So as you can pretty much see, you got your stand hole right there, and then there's the GeminiJets logo, and then you got the rat turbine right there. There isn't really much added details at the bottom. There's no bottom antennas. And then you got like the one-piece mold, so this is basically the characteristics of their old 787 mold. They still have the one-piece mold. I think the recent releases they have, when they released the 787, they've been using the JC Wings mold. But I will say that the one-piece mold, I mean, like, it is what it is. I think it looks okay. I mean, it's not too noticeable when I look at it from a distance, but when I look it up close, yeah, I'm not really much of a fan of one-piece molds, but all I can say, it is what it is. There are some exceptions, yeah. There's like some exceptions that I can like accept a model with a one-piece mold. One of them is like their 757s they have. But yeah, but most of those Dreamliners, they've been using the JC Wings mold as of late. So yeah, hopefully GeminiJets can release a United 787 with the JC Wings mold. Anyways, so here's like the front section of the aircraft right here. As you can pretty much see, I think the port wing has like a very bad like wing flex right here. So as you can see, it starts to like curve up somewhere, like very up, like somewhere over here, while the starboard wing shows like it's kind of like it's about okay, but not as bad as like the port wing. So yeah, it is what it is right there. And then here's the back section of the plane right there. So looking very nice right there. At least the back section looks very nice, I'll say. But yeah, this is a good model for my collection. Not the prettiest model in my collection, I will say, but it does get the job done. And while GeminiJets did use the old 787 mold, the model still looks nice, and I think I mean, like, it was an expensive purchase. Like $56 for a 787-9 and 1/4 scale. That's a bit of a hefty price right there, but yet again, it does get the job done. At least I purchased something from the Museum of Flight, which I can't complain too much right there. But other than that, it's a nice model for my collection, and I'm really glad to have it for my United Airlines collection. So we're pretty much done with the review, but I do want to go over the aircraft's history. So with that being said, let's go over to that portion of the video. Alright, now let's dive into the history of this United 787-9, registered November 24976. And I will say, there isn't really much history to go over since this was newly delivered to United Airlines. So as I pull up planesparts.net, just give it a while to load. Okay, here we go. So The serial number is 66135, line number is 970. The age of this aircraft is 4.1 years. Her production site was in the Charleston Boeing plant in South Carolina, and its airframe status says that it is active, and this was last updated on February 13th of 2024. And yeah, nothing really to go over. She was newly delivered to United Airlines in February 2020. It has two GEnx engines, and yeah, she was ferried from Charleston to Chicago O'Hare, and I think she was delivered on February 12th of 2020. So yeah, once again, there's pretty much like nothing really too new about this plane. As you can see, I also pull up some Airfleet's information. Her first flight date was back in January 29th of 2020. The aircraft, of course, has two GEnx-1B engines. And just like I said, February 12th, 2020 is the delivery date of this aircraft. So that was pretty much quick right there. Nothing really too special about the history of this plane. It just, once again, newly delivered to United Airlines. And yeah, but other than that, she's still a young plane. The airframe's still young, so she'll continue serving with United for many years. So, very nice to see right there. So, that's it for this video. So, with that being said, let's get into the conclusion of this video. So, to give you my overall thoughts on this model right here, I think this model is okay. I think GeminiJets could have at least used a JC Wings mold in the first place, but I don't know if around 2021 is when they introduced like their JC Wings 787 mold in their releases, but either way, it is what it is. I still think the old 787 mold from GeminiJets is still good. They're just like some characteristics that I kind of like found unacceptable. But other than that, it is what it is, and I can't really complain too much right there. Now, from what I understand, I think like Aviation 400 did release a 787-9 in the Evo-Blue Livery for United Airlines, so I may consider to hopefully try to get that. Or maybe if GeminiJets can like do a re-release of the 787-9 and include that model with the JC Wings mold, then I'll also get that. Or my third option is if NG were to re-release this, then hopefully I can get that. But whatever floats my boat, I can get either one. Now also in terms of like if I were like sell this model, that's on a future hold. But if I ever get one of those models, then yes, I may consider trying to sell this model to somebody else. But other than that, this model still stays for my collection. Like it still stays in my collection, and I'm really fortunate to have a United 787-9 in my collection. And yeah, I can use this model in various like routes. So overall, really good efforts right here from GeminiJets right here. So really fortunate to have her in my collection once again. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on that post notification bell so you won't miss a video like this anytime soon. And don't forget to check out all my model plane content by clicking on that playlist, and you can check out all my model plane planes like content from unboxings, updates, airport updates, and reviews from there. So that is it for today. Excuse me. Still need to take a breath, but yeah, trying to like do this whole thing in one go. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys. Okay, let me just start my finishing lines again. Okay, here we go. So, alright, I think I'm ready. So, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Anyways, good night.